Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we close out this show on this Saturday, June the 24th. Stuart Settles is our show producer as Greg Ratliff takes a sabbatical to Whole Foods and sells more produce, I guess. I'm not for sure. But
then he'll soon be with Amazon.
He'll soon be with Amazon. So another one of, maybe we can get with Amazon. Maybe they'll buy up little radio shows down the world or something.
I wouldn't doubt it. Amazon does everything now. So.
They do everything now. Well, so does David Best. I mean, he does everything now.
By the way, Larry, we need to make a date next week. And go by and see Primary Tackle there on Stage Road.
I got to stop by there and see him. Folks, if you hadn't, it's right across from Sheridan, so we can get some food there and everything else. But while we're out there,
a lot of talk about food.
Let's talk about food. David, I know you had the soft open, you had the big opening. Tell us how things, before we start talking about fishing in the Mid-South, how things are going at the store.
Everything's going really, really
well.
Pull
that thing around there so you can talk. Ron's just looking at lures now.
Everything's going really, really well. We're steadily seeing new folks every day. It's been a little better than we really expected to start. So a lot of folks are finding us and been really happy with everything. We're actually going to have our second in a series of bass fishing classes that we do Tuesday night from 7 to 9 o'clock.
Okay.
It's actually geared towards the beginners, but we actually end up with a lot of guys.
Well, I need to get there then.
Too.
Yeah.
So
you need to be there.
I need to be there, as a voice in the background says.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so we it's been going well. It's been going very well. So.
And tell them the location is.
We're at 6765 Stage Road. We're right behind Sheridan's there in between Summer and Witten.
Mm-hmm.
And we've for the first 3 months we've been doing good.
Now you've got the space in the back. I haven't been there, but you have classroom space.
Yep. We actually have we have our front showroom. We've got about 1,500 square feet up front, but then we have a little 800 square foot showroom space. And we're honestly actually preparing our warehouse area in the back as well for classes on Tuesday night. We had a really, really good group for our first class, and we're actually expecting twice as many, so we're going to do a separate kids class.
Really? Okay.
Off to the side. I've got a couple of guys that are just going to be teaching the kids to tie knots and
that's good.
Some really specific.
Doesn't have to be a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be anyone that wants to improve. Well, I'm not talking to you over there.
You need to be there.
Yeah, we're beginning to get we've had several moms come through that are wanting, out teaching their kid, taking the kids fishing in the afternoon.
What we need to do is
those kinds of things.
Before the fishing rodeo, we need to have a series of classes at your place.
That's
because
be a good idea.
These kids come to the fishing rodeo and they don't have a clue, and you can't teach them on the bank there an hour before. That's why we have people like Ron and other ones that walk around. But fish talk. I know you guys. Let's talk. And John Gordon is here also. He's nodding off, but he'll be here. I know it. Talking fishing. He loves to fish. But let's talk fish talk here. And I know Ron's itching to tell us what's going on. But we got all this rain now, so let's don't really think about Cindy, the tropical depression, and things along that line. Let's talk about July fishing. So it's a time of the year that people think catfish and other things, but there is a time that we can catch different species.
Yeah. The bass fishing in July, it still is really, really good. A couple of different approaches. You really out fishing deeper, fishing ledges, deep points, those kind of things during the day. But then the other piece to it is that a lot of people don't think about, and we really preach to some of our customers, is night fishing.
Night fishing.
Getting out there, throwing a spinnerbait. You can get up in that shallower water from the way a lot of guys like to fish, and you can still look for those fish that are around the boat docks and around the shallower parts of Pickwick and Kentucky Lake.
All right, Ron.
And because of all the rain we've just incurred,
yes,
the flood control reservoirs such as Sardis, Enid, Grenada, they've all come up to summer pool finally.
So what does that mean?
What that means is, although you go to the Tennessee River, like David says, and you fish a little bit deeper, go shallow. Fish the newly flooded grass and bushes. Mm-hmm. And by the way, go by and see David. He's got a bait over there that I saw that'll work really, really well in the grass in any of those flood control reservoirs. That's the poppin' perch. Or go and get you some soft stick baits like the Yum Dinger or the Cincos or
I like that Yum Dinger.
The Ochos. And fish them weedless in the grass and the bushes. It's going to work really well over the next couple of weeks.
Well, this weather that we've had will kickstart a lot because we're going to get some cool weather next week, they say.
Yep.
Of course, as we go into July, it's hard to believe that some of the weather that we've had. We need rain. And I know we're getting them right. We're getting the rain. But what does that water temperature do after this rain?
Well, the water temperature, with the rain, most likely will drop a little bit. It'll help make the fish a little bit more active, during the summer, especially the first part of the summer till the water stratifies real well. You got a pretty low oxygen content on that upper level, but with all this water running into all the local reservoirs, TVA lakes everywhere, that's one of the places that you're really going to want to look for and key on, where that new fresh water's coming in. Not only is it bringing in bait, but it's also bringing in oxygen.
Okay.
So that helps make those areas a lot better, and it helps activate those fish as well.
Okay, so Ron, tell us about places that people might want to be thinking about as we get into July. And I know catfishing,
catfishing is really good in
it's
July.
Really good, yeah.
And the flood control lakes that we talked about, Sardis, Enid, Grenada, Arca, Butler, are all very good. Your oxbow lakes, Tunica Cutoff, is still good for
Dan's
catfishing.
always said those oxbow lakes
they
get back
sure
in there
do.
out of the, they can produce.
And, in talking with our friend Claggett Tally,
yes,
they're starting to catch some pretty good catfish below the dam there at Pickwick in the Tennessee River. Really good catfish.
What about stripers? I mean, this time.
The stripers are starting to show up early and late.
Yeah.
On topwater baits, a walking bait, any kind of stick bait that's a walking bait will work really well. And then when the fish go down, when the sun comes up, they're using shiners on the bottom, using a 3-ounce weight, or they're using a 6XD crankbait.
All right, can we get all of this stuff at Primary Tackle?
We sure can.
Yeah, you sure can. We've got all of those items.
And that's another thing, folks, as David said earlier, that if you're thinking about getting into this sport, and really, I mean, today, through videos and things along this kit, I'm not talking about video games or anything like that, on YouTube and things like that, you can get so much knowledge and be overwhelmed. But as I wrote in the Mid-South Hunting and Fishing magazine a couple of issues ago about David's store, is that here's a chance to go in and talk fishing.
Right. And
face to face and not, when you go to Avery and there's somebody that's got a question, you have people down there that answer them, whether it's archery or anything like that, don't you?
Sure, right. Yeah, at the outlet store, we, our guys are all experts in waterfowl hunting, archery, big game hunting. So it's the same situation, but it's kind of a lost deal with all the, a lot of the bigger stores. You just have lost that personal touch. And a place like David's store is just a great place to visit and patronize.
Yeah, and the good thing is we are strictly just a fishing business. Mm-hmm. Our primary is bass fishing. We do have a little crappie section. We are improving on a lot of that stuff down the road, but we have the time to sit down and talk to somebody. I have customers that come in, will sit down and talk with us for an hour. So, and we have the time to do that.
Yeah.
So, and we're happy to do that. And it's really, somebody asked me the other day if I was bored with this yet. I'm like, are you kidding me? I get to sit around and talk fishing all day.
All day long.
Of course I'm not bored with it.
That's right. And they can walk out of there, and I know you have you still want to make money. I mean, you got to sell some lures and things. Yeah. So I'm saying, folks, if you want to just find out about something, I'm always amazed, and I love my folks at Sportsman's Warehouse. They actually are one of the stores that I know that you can talk to folks. I know Bass Pro has those same kind of people, and but not, Sportsman's Warehouse to me has the folks that really know when they go to a counter at David Humphrey's store down in South Haven, they're going to talk to some folks. Now, that's a big box store. It's not like a lot of them. Now, you can go to your place or you can go to Avery. They're local people.
Yep.
They're local people, and they want to help you, and particularly if you have interest. And I know these baits today, Ron will attest to this. You can spend a lot of money on a crankbait. Right, Ron?
Absolutely. You can spend a bunch of money. I mean, you're talking about an average cost of $8 for a crankbait.
$8?
And I had the opportunity to go through David's store the other day. And one of the things that I noticed was he didn't have all 30,000 colors of someone's crankbaits.
Okay.
But the colors that he had are the colors you're going to catch fish with. That's what's important. And, Larry, you've heard me in seminars and talking with people. There's two kinds of fishing lures on the market.
Yeah.
One that catches fish and one that catches fishermen.
Yes. Yeah.
Spend your money on those that are going to catch fish. That's what I found at Primary Tackle.
Well, I know that it's the same way, and John Gordon is at Avery, and he knows waterfowl hunting, and you'll think, well, waterfowl hunting in July, this is get ready time, as John has said. So you don't start you don't start getting ready for the dove season on August the 31st. If there is an August 31st, maybe it's August 30th. I'm not really for sure.
I think there's a 31st.
Okay,
there, but yeah, that's right. And I just wrote about it in the July issue of the Mid-South.
So we need to prepare, and so that's what I like about David's store is I've heard nothing but good things. I'm going to get by there. I know it. I need to get an ice cream anyway and get my fix, because it's got a. What are you shaking your head? It's right there. If it's right there, I haven't been to Freddy's yet. Anybody been to Freddy's yet here?
No, wait a minute. We'll go across the street to Gridley's and get us a good old-fashioned Gridley's barbecue sandwich.
Or we can go to Crystal and get the 5 for $5. I'm sorry. I like the Crystal 5 for $5. I like their chili pups, okay? I'm a Crystal man. Now, you're the big-time man down there, so we can... Hey, we could actually just spend the week there. David's just eating all the things around there.
There's plenty around there.
They have a pretty good little Vietnamese pho shop right next door to them, too.
Oh, they do? Yeah. Captain D's is down the street, too. I mean, let's get this thing going, I know all these.
Back on the food again.
Yeah, we're back on the food again. Well, that's food for thought, when you come down to it and everything. And your hours?
We are open 10 to 8, Monday through Saturday. We're probably going to adjust those sometime in the near future, but for right now, we're still trying to keep that.
That's a long hours to 8 o'clock.
But we're just trying to kind of get a gauge of when's going to be the best times to be open, make sure that we can service everybody that needs to come through.
Yeah, and they're liable to run into you there.
Oh, yeah. I'm there most of
the time.
It's
a family thing, too.
It is a family thing. My mom and dad and my sister help run the shop as well.
Uh-huh.
My brother-in-law spends a little time in there, and we have several friends that come through on a regular basis and help out.
So when you're going to get ready to announce these seminars, we would like to know that.
Well, we do the seminars the last Tuesday of every month.
The last Tuesday of every month at what time?
From 7 o'clock at night to 9 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And we'll be running, those in two separate pieces, like I said, one for the kids, one for the adults. That way we can kind of gear it towards them. We had a pretty good mix last time. We had 10 or 15 kids.
Okay.
And about 20 adults. So we'd like to grow that a little bit. So.
Well, here's what I'm going to suggest. I would love to see you get some of our local bass anglers that maybe don't get the credit that they do. Billy Doyle is some of those people like that, and I don't think you need to bring in. Though I love Larry Nixon and places,
right.
Mark, but we have some wonderful, and Ron will say this. we have some guys, if they had the time and the money, they could be good in the and just, life is what it is.
Very definitely.
So spotlight some of these guys.
And that's one of the things we are working towards. I've actually talked to Billy already. We have Carl Kane available in the store.
There you go. Yeah.
And he's going to come sometime probably during the winter and do a thing on Ghost River.
Okay.
Wong
can do it too if you'll, and he can cook out front.
Yep.
So.
I've never been asked, so.
Well, you just were asked by me. Bring the slider thing and come on out there. All right.
We do have another local angler that should be doing a jig seminar this weekend. So.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Go out there, and we're going to give David all we can on LROutdoors.com. We just posted all the fishing rodeo pictures. The results are on there. The two kids that won the big awards, we did it different this year. We didn't have a point winner or anything. We just drew out names, and I know the little girl that won the trip to Reelfoot to Blue Bank Resort is really excited.
She was so excited.
Yeah, and they've already emailed me 2 or 3 times, so we're going to work that out with Mike Hayes. But and Avi, the store is open from today. It'll be open at what time do you open on Saturdays?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Okay, and then you're open during the week.
That's correct. Yeah, we're open. It opens at 9 as well, 9 to 6.
9 to 6 at the Avery Superstore down there. Keep up with these guys. Ron, what time do you open? Well, you don't know. That's
come by and see me today. Yeah. Hey, as soon as I get out of studio, I'll be heading to Batesville, Mississippi.
For the American Crappie Trail Tournament at Batesville, and this is
out of Sardis Lake. They're holding it at Sardis, and but they're doing the weigh-ins indoors at the Civic Center there in Batesville. Weigh-in begins at 2:30. Get there about 2 o'clock. It's nice and dry, air-conditioned inside, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Somebody's going to win a fully rigged Ranger boat.
That's at every tournament. They got 2.
Yes, sir.
Got 2 more to go before
the
big one.
One more at Truman Lake, and then they have their national championship.
Lake
of the Ozarks.
Oh, Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
That's right. So they're at Truman Lake and Lake of the Ozarks. Yep. So great time. Stuart Settles, thank you for taking care of us on this Saturday morning. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, David. Thank you, John, for being with us. And great line of guests. We'll be in next week, and it'll be Open Mic Saturday as we talk about my 50 years of journalism in Memphis area. I'm going to kind of reminisce and got some guys, some friends calling in. We'll talk about what's happened in the last 50 years since I arrived with my U-Haul coming across the river from Arkansas. It's hard to believe, 50 years. I was the youngest man ever hired at the Commercial Appeal. I was 12, when I came here. So it was, I've learned a lot in my lessons. We'll talk about that on next week. This is Larry Ray reminding you to do each and every week. It doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport, and God bless the USA. I have to give it.
You can find out